Trials of Podcast. I'm Preya.
And I'm Melanie.
The New Trials of Cardcaptor Sakura, Sharon, and Friends is a popular ongoing fanfic by Wishlove, and it's based off of Clamp's Cardcaptor Sakura. Usually we read a chapter, but today we're going to be continuing our Q&A session with Wish-chan. Last week, we covered questions and answers that were from Melanie and me, and that arose from our podcast. And this week, it's going to be pure listener-submitted questions. Lines to the stars, we love you guys. This episode couldn't have happened without you.
Yay! Exactly. And you guys asked amazing questions. All right, now going on to listener questions. This is from @Carolina_LR2. And so her questions are, hi, Wish-chan. This sounds like a great idea, and I'm going to take advantage of this opportunity. Here are my questions about NT. What inspired you to romantically link Sharon's father with Sakura's mother? Which, by the way, I think is the best ship of all. I love that couple. And then Wish-chan responded, yay, Nadesco Ryurin are also my favorite couple, mostly because they are not meant to be. I'm glad that they get love. I think it came from wanting to explore Nadesco's character and also solve the mystery of why Sharon's father was never mentioned in canon CCS. In a sense, those two are the core of what moved along NT's plot in the beginning. Truthfully, I didn't really think much of Nadesco as a character in the original CCS series because she felt vapid in the flashback scenes, but I grew to love her more through writing her relationship with Ryurin. I explore her thoughts more in the Angel of Death side chapter I posted recently, which was really written as a character sketch of Nadesco, more than a real chapter.
Wow, Carolina, that is such a good question. Thank you for bringing that to us.
Yes, that's what the other day when I said she poses an amazing question, it was this one.
I'm really glad that Wish-chan took the opportunity to really flesh out Nadeshiko and have her in a relationship with Ryurin because, like, in some ways it parallels SNS, but in others it's like we have SNS forging their own journey.
Mm-hmm. I know Carolina is going to love this answer because she said she also loves tragic endings. So the fact that Wish-chan says the reason why she likes them is because they're not meant to be. So I could just see Carolina smiling so big right now.
Her second question was, what literary genre keeps you the most inspired for the last part of NT? Wish-chan replies, I don't think I thought much of genres when writing NT, and I think the arcs have gotten progressively darker and more angst. I love good angst as much as I love fluff. As for this final arc, the tone has shifted since Arc 1 days, though I think there was plenty of hints back then as well of darker themes. Would it scare readers if I say epic tragedy? I had to Google the genre for X/1999, which is dark fantasy. CCS is magical girl/romance. So I guess all of that and more. I think it would be faithful to the atmosphere that has been built up in Arc 4. Epic tragedy with Chen. Epic tragedy.
Girl, I just had my primary care appointment and my blood pressure was fine, but now oh boy.
We are in for one roller coaster of a ride.
Do you know what anime she was referring to? The X
Yeah,
1999?
it's I think it's Clamp and I think it's like early Clamp. It's a movie. It's from 1996, which makes sense because that's when like before she started writing New Trials.
Hey. Oh man, their artwork is so pretty. Well, maybe I'll sneak a music video in just to see, but oh, I'm scared. And then her next question is, do you have any NT character besides Shadon? He is the number one of all your readers, even mine, question mark. Sorry for asking so much. It's all just curiosity is killing me. By the way, my second favorite is Kai. And Wish Chan answered, yes, Shadon is, of course, my number one favorite Clamp character, though NT doesn't seem to reflect that. My favorite NT original character is Ryuren, as mentioned earlier, because his love for Nadesco is never meant to be. Kai is my most beloved and developed OC, with enough backstory of his own to make him the protagonist of his own story. Oh, wait, that's the Kaido Magician origins. But I do put myself into each character when I am writing from their perspective. So during certain scenes / sub arcs, the predominant point of view will be my favorite for that period. Interesting.
Okay. These questions comes from our listener, Cheryl Barrow. Hi, Wishlove. Your dedication to this epic is so inspiring. What has kept you motivated through all of these years and life changes? Wishan answers, definitely the Neutrals community, starting from the Yahoo group to Facebook, to anyone who's ever emailed me, messaged me, posted on my blog or guest books. Also, my genuine love of writing and sense of conviction that I want the story to be fully told.
Aww. So see, guys, all the support in the world means the most to her. Like, send her all your love. All right, then our next set of questions come from Amy Kitty. And she said, hi, Wishlove. I am a longtime fan of NT. I love your work, and I'm wondering if you'll be continuing to write. And Wishan answered, definitely. I am still writing NT. For various real-life reasons, I've sort of been on a hiatus from posting chapters, going beyond the usual writer's block. But mostly wrapping up everything requires thought and care than any other arcs, and my dedication to the story is strong as ever.
Yay. Yeah, if anybody hasn't done it yet, on Wishan's blog, she goes more into what's been going on in her life these last few years. But I'm so glad that like we all know that Neutrals is not going to be abandoned. Like we all know that. We also are aware that we are in hiatus mode, but we want Wishan to take care of herself, and when she's ready, she's going to be a full barrels blasting.
Exactly. And I think we all want her to take her time because we want everything to be ended the way she wants it to be ended. You know, I don't think any of us would ever want her to rush anything. So good on you, Wishan. We're here to support you. All right. And so next up, we have questions that Mezel asked Wishan. And so to start off, we have, you've mentioned the Kaido Magician was supposed to be a one-off character, but kept him in the story because of how popular he was. So was Kaito Magician always supposed to be Tanaka McKay, or did that just fall into place as you planned out the story? I'm still reeling by how McKay is pronounced. And Wish-chan answered, I'm pretty sure Kaido Magician came before Tanaka McKay, but seeing Miho come up in Arc 1, Tanaka McKay must also have had his place pretty early on. I wanted to write a phantom thief into the story, but he happened to be Tanaka McKay. I think things just fell into place as the story developed. Kai appeared and decided he's going to stay, and that was that. Kai is my writer's block baby, in that he's one of the easiest characters to write. And if other characters or plots give me a headache, he always comes naturally. Maybe it's because he's a purely original character, so I don't have to really think what would Clamp do. I also had the whole debate if Kai is pronounced K or Kai. McKay technically should be romanized McKay in my head back.
And she spells Mikei, Mikei.
Yes. And for those of you that might not know, that might just be listening to the Q&A episode, I had messaged Wish Chan a couple months back asking how to pronounce different characters' names for the audiobook. And that's when she sprang up on me how Kai's name is supposed to be pronounced. So, anyways.
It feels so good to talk about Kai because we went through the whole arc one, not talking about him at all because the Phantom Teeth Thief hasn't arrived yet. But it's going to be so refreshing when we get into arc two and we're going to talk about him so much.
Yes, I'm so excited. And I just recorded some of the first chapters that has him in it. And I actually really like my Kai voice, not to like toot my own horn or pat myself on the back or anything, but
Oh, I
he's super
can't wait.
fun.
That's going to be so exciting. Her second question is, obviously, not everyone has the fantasy to gain access to the Dragon Isles. So what other means are there? AKA, how does the Lee clan get there? Wishchan answers, there's different types of portal magic. The fantasy is a foolproof way, but those who are powerful enough have the power to travel through dimensions, as seen through Chloe Reed and others in Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicle. Only the most powerful of magicians have the power to travel dimensions and to be able to find the Dragon Isles. However, and it can be a perilous journey for many.
That is a very good question. I've always wondered that.
I think that when we speculated about this chapter when it came out all those years ago, this was definitely a question that popped up in the discussion, if I remember correctly. So I'm really glad that Messel circled back and was able to to ask it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And then her next question was, how did Sakura use and seal cards in Arc 4 without changing them to reflect her new powers of the moon? Excuse me if this is already explained in the story. And Wish Chan very cutely said, sorry, I may have to skip over Arc 4 specific questions for now because I can't 100% guarantee that there won't be spoilerly elements.
Oh, fair game, fair game.
Yeah, yeah.
Next one is, will Kai's video game about the New Trials crew come up again? Haha. Wish-chan replies, I had a lot of fun writing about Kai's CCS video game. Who knows? It might get released someday in the future in the Antiverse.
I don't remember the video game.
It was a bit dark. Maylin, I think this was when Maylin was living with Kai after she got in a fight with Sharon, and then she saw that he did develop this CCS video game, and you can play as all the characters. And the reason I say it's sad is because each time, let's say she tried playing as a Kai 2 magician, all of his ends are like death, 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 death. He doesn't get a happy ending kind of thing.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. That's ringing a bell now. Okay. And then her next question was, will you ever rewrite the first few chapters for better continuity or leave them as they are post-edit? I'm also curious to how you would write them today. Wish Chan answered, I once thought I would redo the prologue to better synchronize with the anime ending, but with the clear card arc out now, I wonder if there's a point. I might still do that someday. After all, I sort of consider clear card an AU ending of CCS because CCS Shaoran and CCS Sakura regress aged. I understand why Clamp did that for commercial reasons, and I like seeing my baby face Sakura again too. I love
Uh,
that she considers that AU.
And it's like we know that Wish-chan tinkered around with prologue, chapter one, chapter two, chapter three, chapter four. Um, but what's cool is that on fanfiction.net we get the original 1999 version of New Trials. So whether she edits or not, it's like at least there's going to be a time capsule somewhere out there.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay, Mesel's next question is, in general, how are you feeling about new trials coming to an end soon? Wish-chan answers, Obviously, I'm not handling it well based on the long writing hiatus. I feel a lot of pressure to do justice to the ending, hence the writer's block. The larger plot outline is all done, key scenes written, but I feel the need to write it well. I think up till now, I got to happily write all I wanted to my heart's content. The the this final saga is about wrapping everything up, especially knowing that I spent 2 dozen years on this fan fiction and knowing readers have so loyally supported New Trials for so long. I imagine getting to this point for so long, and there's still that final stretch. But when it's ended truly, though, I think I'll feel relieved and excited to rejoin pure fandom.
Oh, wish she.
I wish you take as long as you need. We're here for you. Writer's block is a cruel, cruel thing. Hiatuses are necessary. But I'm really glad we got the answer to this question because we don't always know what goes on in her head.
And it really is such a good question. And it's nice to kind of get a little, yeah, like you said, kind of a peek into her head. But, I can't imagine the pressure and the weight she has to feel to like want to do us justice on this fan fiction. And I'm hoping our podcast is helping her, and that's being her little cheerleaders. Like hopefully it's helping her, but oh, I can't imagine the stress she must be under.
Mm, no, this break was definitely the most needed. And I think the same way we talked about it's like, oh, imagine if 13-year-old Wish Chan wrote like the whole 70 chapters while she was still a teenager instead of growing with the fanfic. I think this was just like another growth period that needed to happen to give Wish New Trials the ending that it deserves.
100% agree. And then Mezel's final question is, do you have a favorite chapter or moment/scene? And Wish Chan replied, so many. I'll choose one from the later arcs though, and skip the obvious favorites because massively popular scene/chapters, star-crossed included, like everyone else, I also enjoyed immensely. I like the scene where Sharon walks away from Sakura at the Hong Kong harbor in chapter 53, Yesterday's Letter, because it marks a pivot in Sakura and Shaoran's relationship, where Sakura chased after Shaoran for the first time. In a sense, the previous 3 arcs was building up to this scene, and I think that the whole chapter serves as a good cliffhanger to seg you into the final arc. My favorite / most memorable scene in Arc 4 is when Sakura meets Ryurin again in Chapter 70, Eye of the Dragon. Ryurin is my favorite original character. Sorry, Kai, you were close.
I'm not surprised that Riren was her is her first her like her favorite original character. I totally see that.
That scene in Chapter 70, like I just did my reread not too long ago. It makes me cry every single time. It's so good. So good.
Oh, it's like if we thought It's So Hard to Say Goodbye to Yesterday was heartbreaking, just wait until we get to chapter 53, Yesterday's Letter. That is going to destroy us.
I honestly don't know how I'm going to make it through the audiobook. I really don't know because this is, it's one thing to read it, but it's another thing to act it out and to put all the emotion that needs to be behind the scenes. Like, oh God, I am not going to be okay.
Well, look, we're just about to start podcasting about season 2 in a few arc 2 in a few weeks. And it's going to be a long, 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 long time. So we're going to have lots and lots of great things to experience before we get there.
I'm going to need it. I'm going to have to give everyone my Venmo to send me like money to go get like comfort food and stuff.
So next up, we have questions from Shell Whitfield. And they said, "Hello, longtime reader of NT, started reading when I was 14, am now 31. Adore this fanfic with all my heart. It's everything I ever wanted as a continuation of manga." I guess my question is pretty basic one, hopefully, but are we going to see Sakura and Shaoran as a couple before this fic concludes? Happy to have just a yes or no answer, not trying to get spoilers or anything. I would just like to read them having finally put all the heartbreak and miscommunication behind them and be a happy and absolutely badass power couple. Thank you for this amazing fanfic, Wish-chan. Reading NT has gotten me through some really hard, dark times over this last 16-ish years. Thank you very much, Shell. And Wish-chan responded, "Thanks so much for your constant feedback, Shell-chan. And perhaps the most time-old question all of us have been curious about, myself included. I wish I can give a concrete answer, but I guess I can only say at this point that I believe Sakura and Shaoran will make choices befitting of them. So sorry, that's all I can say for now." And thank you, Shell, for asking the question all of us really wanted to know. Such a good question.
This next series of questions comes from Catherine Bourne Taylor, and her first question is, any morsels of spoilers for what's to come in the next chapter to tide us over? Wishan answers, yikes. Spoilers are tough. Not so much of a spoiler. That is, chapter 73.5, the Hong Kong encounter, is actually not finished, and I've been sort of sitting on it for pretty much. Okay, hold on. I'm too excited, Melanie.
I know.
I predicted this. I predicted this. And now that I'm reading this, I'm like, I'm right.
I'm having a hot flash because I'm so excited. Okay.
Chen answers, yikes. Spoilers are tough. Not so much of a spoiler. That is, chapter 73.5, the Hong Kong encounter, is actually not finished. And I've been sort of sitting on the pretty much finished 90,000 word chapter, still in the editing process for ages. It's not really a special chapter, but more like its own saga. I envision it as a separate summer feature film if NT was an anime ahead of the finale. Unfortunately, instead of number it into several chapters as I should have, I made it all squeeze in as a zero point 0.5 chapter. Hence, it looks like I haven't made a whole lot of writing progress. This makes me so happy because I have been predicting that chapter 73.5, the Hong Kong encounter, is like there's still more to it. And I think what gave it away is because the way she just labeled it as A side, B side. So, I'm excited that we get to live in this birthday bubble for a bit longer.
Oh my God, you are so right. So right. And I also like she kind of gives us a morsel of it looks like I haven't made a lot of writing progress. When to me that says I think she's just been working on the whole ending just all together.
Yes.
So my theory is I think she has most of it done. It's just tidying up all the loose ends. So, oh my gosh, Preya, you were right. Okay. Question number 2 from Catherine was, what do you think Iro's feelings for Tomeo are? Does he see her romantically?
Melanie, I'm so glad you're the one reading this.
Guys, okay. I'm trying to compose myself. Hold on. I should have brought my inhaler. Okay. Okay. Wish-chan answered. Okay. I spent a ridiculous amount of time trying to analyze Tomeo and Iro's relationship and how Iro thinks of Tomeo back in the days. It's an area I slightly diverge from clamp canon, but that's what I wrote in T for, developing undeveloped relations. In short, Iro sees Tomeo as an equal, which is saying a lot since I believe he sees Sakura and Shaoran as cute playthings and Yue Kiribera's spinel son, Miho, etc. as dependents. They have a mutual respect. To the second part of the question, I don't think he sees Tomeo in a romantic light yet. But for Errol, I believe there has to be some level of mutual respect in order for any other deeper feelings to develop. Oddly enough, I think Errol sees Kaho as a partner equal, but I don't see any romantic feelings there in canon.
Yeah, I don't know what Clamp was trying to pull to put like a 10-year-old with a 20-year-old. Like honestly, like I know he's supposed to be reincarnation, whatever, but no, it falls flat. And ooh, this answer is so juicy.
I think she gives us some morsels though, that I think him just being the kind of boy he is, he's just trying to slowly understand what this feeling is that he is feeling towards this girl. Not to put words in Wish Chan's mouth, but oh.
Catherine's next question. Oh yes, thank you, Wish Chan.
Yeah, thank you, Wish Chan, and thank you, Catherine, for asking that question. Okay.
Catherine's next question is, if you can rewrite any early scene from when you first began, what would you do and why? Wushan answered, I initially wanted to redo the prologue to align it with the anime ending. I did go back and slightly edit a few of the earlier chapters, but looking back now, I rather like having a rougher writing in the earlier chapters because it feels like a time capsule of a writer I was at that age. I feel like we all grew up together with New Trials and CCS and aged together. Hence, I don't feel so embarrassed about imperfect writing anymore or exploring different styles.
100%. 100%. Oh, I love it. And then her next question, oh, this is such a good one, Catherine. She said, what has the New Trials fandom taught you? Oh, this is such a good question. And so Wish Chan said, it may be cliche, but the NT fandom fills me with the same Hanyan feeling that CCS evokes in me. The way CCS's message is a lot about kindness, acceptance, and love, the NT fandom has also been the source of my inspiration and fuel to keep on writing. The NT community has been so kind and encouraging, knowing how toxic people online can be elsewhere. And I think it's really a blessing to have connected with everyone from all parts of the world. The community has filled a corner of my heart that I don't think can be satiated in any way. And it's a sanctuary I can always return to, and frankly, a key part in my growth process. Oftentimes, I have asked why I have been blessed with an awesome and patient community. But I think I too have really poured out my heart and soul into writing NT, so perhaps that sincerity has also reached the readers. I used to say that if I can touch just one reader, I'll keep writing, but seeing the community we have all these years later, it's amazing how far we've come. So I can just say thank you for all your patience and support. And I also have much more left to tell, not only taking New Trials to its final arc, but through epilogues and unfinished side stories.
Oh, that's a beautiful question to end on. Thank you so much for asking it, Catherine. And thank you so much, Wish Chan, for giving your time and answering these questions. Next week, please stay tuned for the final installment of our Q&A series. Melanie and I thought it would be fun if Wish Chen was a part of our conversation in her little way. So we sent her what we'd like to call third host questions. So basically at the top of every podcast, Melanie and we chit-chat about themes that are related to the chapter. So we sent Wish Chan these questions, and next week we'll be reading the answers. And I'm also going to post on the Facebook groups these questions. So if anybody wants to chime in with stories or pictures, it'll be a little fun community project to really close off Arc 1 and before heading off to Arc 2.
Oh, I'm so excited for this part. Like, of course, I was excited for her answers to, actual NT questions, of course. But I'm super excited for her answers, and I'm really excited to see what the Alliance has to say. And oh my God, guys, I would love it to pieces if you share pictures with us and if you would give me permission to put them on Instagram. You don't have to, but I would love to see pictures.
Yes, I spent the weekend just combing through my photo albums, so I have lots of pictures that are going to just show different moments that we talked about over the course of Arc 1.
Oh, in true Melanie fashion, I have not gone through my pictures yet. I will get it done, though.
There's still time. There's still time. You have been listening to New Trials, the podcast, where it must rain for there to be a rainbow.
You've been listening to New Trials, the podcast Q&A edition. Please be sure to also check out the finished Arc 1 audiobook version of this fan fiction that you can find anywhere that you can find this podcast. Also, please be sure to check out the fan page for Wish Chan New Trials, where a big part of the discussion happens nowadays, and also where you can answer third host questions and maybe be a part of our episode next time. And so be sure to stick around for that, and we will see you then.